DGNRadio, trenches on the radio. Radio, 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 DGNRadio, trenches on the radio. Radio, 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 radio. Yo, static hits like a corner store prophet. Spitting truth through the speaker, no profit. 92 BPM, knocking boots on the concrete. Why the feds trace signals they can't delete. Horn snap cut, that's the truth in the cut. Crypto flickering green while the world's on shut. Ain't no playlist, this a frequency war. Tune in or vanish like cash through a door. DJ radio, stretches on the radio. Radio, 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 radio. Stretches on the radio, stretches on the radio. Radio, 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 radio. DJ radio, stretches on the radio. Radio, 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 radio. Stretches on the radio, stretches on the radio. Radio, 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 radio. Stretches on the radio, stretches on the 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 radio.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Beans Bulletin Show, sponsored by DGNRadio, with a host, Franco. How you doing, Franco?
How you doing, man? Exciting. Let's go.
Yeah. And I'm myself, Shane Burkett, co-host, and then we've got another team member up top, JR from Legend.
What's up, everyone? I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, mate. Thank you very much. So tonight we've got an NFT-based show. We've got 4 amazing projects who have come today to showcase themselves. This is a unique way of doing shows, which hasn't really been seen before. It's been trialed and tested 2 years ago. Proof of concepts there, and it's amazing because not only can we stream across multiple social platforms all at the same time, we've brought a new element to it. We can now do it live radio as well and put it on loop so that people can listen to it over and over again on loop from show to show, which is every Tuesday to Friday. Each show has a different narrative each time, and this is where we showcase the best projects in the space, but not only just good projects, great people behind them projects, trustworthy individuals. These are the projects that everybody should be investing in. You know, we've got no space for the bad actors, and you know the space is kind of creeping in more. So we need to tighten our circles, and you know our money needs to go into these projects that you know we're showcasing on here. Just you know, up in here at the moment, we've got D&D, Bolt the Badger, J Connects, and Dallas Brave. These have been kind of selected. You know, we've approached these guys because they've got a great reputation, and what they have, what they're going to deliver to you guys today, you know, it's well worth looking at. Certainly, as the space appears to be growing bigger, every social platform individually is actually decreasing in numbers of users, and it's because there's that many. You know, audiences are widely spread across X, Arena, Twitch, Kick, and we're able to hit all them audiences all at the same time. And yeah, we're really excited to kind of be able to bring this to you every single week, not once but twice, and put everything on the table for you, and then that's for you to kind of make a decision at that point, as well as believing, you know, having a visual instead of just hearing a voice is also really, really important. We can put all the information right in front of your eyes on a weekly basis, and you've got something to refer to. So I think we should kind of get the show underway, and I think I'm going to kickstart with D&D, if that's all right, Mud. Again, another amazing project. Welcome, Mud. How are you doing, mate?
Hey, doing great. Some really good names that I recognize here in this StreamYard. Shane, I appreciate you letting D&D 721 come up and say hi. So If you want, I can just jump right in.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what you want you to do. Just kind of introduce yourself and yeah, just go into your project and tell us kind of where you've started from in the space, why NFTs, and then yeah, we'll go through your socials on screen as you speak. Fire away.
Sure
Spill the
thing.
beans.
Well, again, my name is Mud, and I am a co-founder, among many other roles, at the project D&D 721. And we are a live play ecosystem for Dungeons and Dragons. If you're wondering, Dungeons and Dragons isn't that thing that those nerdy kids play on Stranger Things? Yes, you're right. It is that. We started this project actually a little over about 2 years ago. It was in April of 2024 when we came up with the concept and the idea of what we wanted to do, which was an entire ecosystem around community game playing, because Dungeons and Dragons is a community-based game. It's a game where you play with friends and other people. It's collaborative storytelling rather than player versus player. You don't have a character on a screen. You're not mashing buttons. You're not running around collecting gold or, swinging a sword. You're telling a story together. And so we spent almost the first year really putting all of the planning together, doing the math and the spreadsheets and everything that was going to make this project contained and successful. And we wanted it to have several pieces to the puzzle. The first piece was our NFT series. And the NFTs, they act as kind of your ticket to play, because every single NFT is a player card. And the player cards are what people use to create their Dungeons and Dragons hero. So we developed them in a way that it comes with concept art. It comes with what your race is, what your class is. It has some of your starting proficiencies based on the race class combo, your starting armor, as well as a number of other things. And this is where some of the fun RNG factor comes into play with our game, because there are 120 different kinds of combos you can get of different races, different classes, and then scripted into the NFT mint process, their starting stats for what you have as a level 1 hero are also minted onto the card randomly, doing a lot of math on a bell curve that I figured out over a year ago. So the cards act as the basis for the hero that you are going to play in the story. And I also am a part of this project as the dungeon master. So I am what you might consider the narrator. I'm the referee who's helping tell the story, and I'm helping tell the players what kind of dice to roll and what they get and what they do, how well they do it. And all of our community games, all of these sessions that we play, they are recorded and they are professionally edited by Island Metal Forge. He goes by the name Yamez. He is a co-founder in this project, and as well as a player and his own dungeon master. But he also primarily, he spends a lot of time and a lot of hours editing up the episode, the actual gameplay that we all participated in together. And he edits it and it gets published to all of our different streaming platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, as well as our Patreon. The other piece of our ecosystem is a crypto token, which goes by the same name, D&D 721. And the token also directly ties into our ecosystem because it is an in-game currency that our players are able to use to purchase extra items, potions, armors, weapons that they utilize before the session begins, before we actually play our game. So they're able to get some extra items, a little bit of flair. It's not play to win, but it is pay for flavor and pay for some extra benefits and perks that you can get along the way in the story.
Can you share an example of like the extra perks that you can get within the gameplay?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we owe so much to our community because so many people have dedicated so much to what we are building. But one example is that I have created a bot that is specific to just our chat room. Anytime a game is starting, his name is the Wandering Bishop's Butimus Baubles Shop. I run the bot and it goes through a list of over 100 items and it picks the different tiers of items that people can use our token to purchase. And that can be anything from a potion of healing, a cloak of billowing, an extra heavy crossbow, great axes. And everything is in different lists. So there are free items you can get just for showing up and playing with your NFT. So you don't actually have to buy the token. You don't actually have to purchase anything to play the game. But if you wanted some extra items, some things cost $1, some things cost $2. And then we have some fancier permanent items that will stay with your NFT, with your hero from game to game. And you can get some extra things like the circlet of blasting or the wand of beat poetry. For any Dungeons and Dragons nerds out there, there's also a lot of homebrew in this. So a lot of our items we have created and balanced ourselves in our own ecosystem. And also the ongoing campaign and the community one-shots also take place in a homebrewed environment that is a world and a story that I have crafted and written and put together for our players.
No, I think that's really clever that you've got gameplay there to benefit the token. And I know the token's only at an 8K market cap, but you kind of don't have anything to worry about because the more the game gets played, the more obviously that benefits the chart itself. And so have you only been around since December as a whole, or was that just when the token?
That was when the token launched. We spent a lot of time preparing the NFT series and the token and everything else leading up to our launch. The token is on the base network. It was a fair launch. We did stealth it. We trapped the bots at the launch and then locked away their liquidity with a high tax and then opened it up freely to anybody who wanted to purchase. And just like you said, it is a low market cap and it has low volume, but that's because we have a dedicated community who have already purchased their tokens and then they use them as in-game currency. So one way to think about it is if you were investing in V-Bucks or Roblox gold coins or any kind of currency, if you play Call of Duty or any of those things where you have to get season passes or you're purchasing skins for your guns, whatever it may be, it's very much the same concept, except when you purchase the token, you're investing into the in-game currency. It earns you Ethereum as a reflection reward. And the more that you hold as the price goes up, your in-game currency goes further with items you want to buy, or if you just want to collect the passive rewards, frictionless Ethereum on the base network just for holding.
No, that makes complete sense. Just in regards to the NFT itself and the gameplay, like the game build, what's been like the biggest kind of difficulty for you as in producing what you've produced as a whole? Was it like the gameplay and kind of making it connect all together, or is it kind of, the community? Has that been a difficulty for you in regards to the NFT? Or just touch on what difficulties you've faced.
Yeah, one of the biggest difficulties that you run into is just making sure that you're telling a collaborative story and the players add so much to it. But a big piece of it is making sure that you're coming up with original content that is engaging and fun. And part of how we've worked to accomplish that is that I'm a dungeon master and I write the stories. There's an ongoing campaign with members of our team that people can tune into and listen to. So there's a linear story being told in a campaign. But then there's the community games that operate as their own kind of single story in a single session or two sessions. And you come up with different encounters and challenges and puzzles and riddles and different things. And part of how we've overcome that challenge of me having to constantly create more content is by having other members of the community becoming dungeon masters themselves, like Yamez has, like Barkoshi has, and others have raised their hand saying they would also like to host games within our ecosystem where people buy their NFTs, create their hero, and then bring it to the game to play. So now other players and people who are coming in, if you don't like my style, that's perfectly fine. You might like Barkoshi's style more. Or if you don't care for Barkoshi's gameplay or style, whatever it may be, well, maybe you like Wawa Skittles and the games that she makes. And there's a lot of options. Or you can say, you know what? I could do this better. I would like to be a dungeon master of my own story. And people could then join your game using our ecosystem.
No, I get that. Have you ever thought, could it not be an opportunity for projects to somewhat come in and make their own kind of clans? Is a way of putting it.
I understand the idea that you're coming up with. The NFTs have already been created. There are 10,000 cards that have been made, and we released the first 2,500 in Wave 1. I have been talking with my co-founder Yamez about if there's potential for doing some kind of partnership with our other friends and allies and people who have worked with us, where in some way there can be characters made that in some way kind of represent their project. You have to be a little bit careful, though, with consistency and making sure that the races and classes are not getting muddled as you're expanding outside of the core game.
Yeah, I don't think the characters would necessarily have to replicate the project. I mean, as long as they kind of just resembled one another, I think would be enough. But I think it would be a great way of like collaborating with other projects and kind of inviting them in to be part of your project as well as the community as a whole. But then it'll be beneficial for you because obviously you'd get the NFTs sold quite well and you'd have more game in play, which I think would also be a great way. I think I've seen something similar before in the past where they have done that, but not in this idea, but in terms of like bringing projects in as a collective group to like build something and have their own, like, I don't know, farm or, you know, army of somewhat. And
the other piece of it that
quite a lot.
The other piece that makes it even more complex is that, again, we have a member of our community, Barkoshi, who is building his own live play platform that will be Web3 compatible, so that you'll be able to bring your NFT connected to his platform and it will create your character sheet for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good. What's the time duration for that?
So that's something that we do have coming up. He is starting beta testing. It's been something that's in the works on and off for the last couple months. He's a one-man army. He is building it himself for the love of it. Another thing that we have that is already in position and something that people can take advantage of, if you like podcasts, if you like audio entertainment, and you like what this project brings, we do have sponsorship opportunities where we will partner with other projects, like Canine Finance was one example, where they were buying ad space from us for over a year. And we would do an ad slot for their project at the top of every episode. So now with the NFTs, with the coin, with the podcast itself, anybody could come in, get a very affordable advertisement in the podcast. And we have over 82 episodes now. And half of those, Canine has a advertisement that is built into the episode. So it's not like Spotify or Pandora pushing the advertisement in between other things. It's built into the episode. So it exists in perpetuity for anybody who goes back to listen to those episodes. And we're offering that to anybody who would like to pay to be a paid sponsor within the podcast itself.
No, that's amazing. That's just creating another layer on top of what layers you've already just kind of showcased prior. I think that's going to be appealing to a lot of people as well. So if you are a listener and you're part of a project You know, it might be worth kind of mentioning this as another way of getting visibility. I mean, I know for a fact our team will probably take a look at that as well. And for the NFTs, mate, they're very good quality. I mean, I really liked looking through that. I was kind of just looking through the collection as you were talking. Like, yeah, top job, mate. Honestly, I want to open it up for questions. If anyone's got any questions, Franco, have you got anything?
No, I will look into this for sure, man. I was playing the D&D back in the day, man. That's 25 years ago, well, 30 years ago, man. And now I have 4 little boys, and they're a little bit too little, but we have the big book, and we translated the whole piece in Dutch and made it a bit easier. So I'm playing it with my boys, man. That's this cool, man. Loved it.
That's awesome. I play with my 11-year-old godson from time to time, and he's just old enough. He's starting to have fun with it.
Yeah, my oldest is also 11, and that's the one that really can play, but the other ones are a bit too young. But yeah, they love it, man. It's amazing.
That's great. JR, have you got any questions?
Man, I was real big. I was real big into role playing games as I was growing up. I'm a Final Fantasy guy.
Same here.
Yeah, so like from Super NES, SNES to PlayStation, PlayStation 4. That's as far as I got. I've got the new remake of Final Fantasy 7. But anyway, I got a question. Is your platform like live interactive? When you say it's D&D, like can you flip through can you flip through your cards? Can you be interactive? Can you choose what you want to put forward to play? That kind of thing. Is like, can you go into a little more detail on that one?
Awesome questions. Yeah. So there's 2 different phases to this. Right now, we run everything out of our Telegram. So when I put together a community game and it's ready to be played, people take their NFT from their wallet to show, hey, here is my hero. I'm going to play as this character. And, we've had as many as 3 people at a time to as many as 6 people at a time playing a game together. And, you have the half-elf fighter, the human paladin, the dwarf fighter, the halfling rogue, the elf rogue. They all went on an adventure together, these 5 different community members. And right now we utilize a platform called D&D Beyond that just helps you organize your character sheet that you're playing on. And that is what Barkoshi and our team is looking to create our own version of that platform. And when it's created, yes, there will be campaigns or stories that people can join, connect their wallet, connect their NFT to that adventure, build out their character, and then be ready to play with their group. And then the rest of it, outside of your character sheet and the concept art, the rest is theater of the mind. So there is no, again, it's not a video game. You're not, hitting the arrow keys or your AWSD to move around on a map. You're talking through it together.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it as well. I'm hopeful you can stick around for the rest of the show. I just want to go on to Poke the Badger because I know he hasn't got much time in the space, if that's all right, Mud. And
absolutely,
we'll come back to you in a short time, mate. But amazing, thank you. Hiya, Poke, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it. Hey, Mud,
really
been a
appreciate
while.
you.
Great to hear about your project. Dallas Brave, it's awesome to have you here also. We all go back a little ways, a couple years ago. Surfing the crypto clouds. Anyways, I'm Poke the Badger. I'm the founder of Badger Wasteland, and we are an NFT project on Ton. If you're not familiar with Ton, it's the official cryptocurrency of Telegram. There's a lot going on with it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you how cool Ton is because you don't need a lesson in blockchain, or I'm sure you're all very comfortable with where you are anyways. but there's always a good time to explore other chains, which is kind of why we're all together here. So our NFT project is pretty unique. What we have going on is honestly it's a set of placeholders. If you look at our NFT collection, it's a some might say it's a little generic, but it's a placeholder for what's to come. We're building a lot of utilities, and what we got going is a mini app right now where you're going to be able to take your Badger NFT and you can upgrade them, kind of like Mud was talking about. So through the NFT metadata, you can upgrade your Badger, upgrade your rarity, and essentially upgrade your NFT status. So you're building an army of Badgers. You're doing daily tasks. You're doing social interactions. You're doing mini games, including like Wordle. There's a whole bunch of small mini games in there that are really cool. And so beyond that, we also offer some utilities like our NFT notification bot that allows you to receive notifications in your Telegram channel or chat when your NFT moves, when it's bought, sold, when it's placed on auction, and you have all that right there for your community to kind of see. And it's a great service to have. A lot of utility projects use it. We just got our website going, badgerwasteland.versal.app. That thing's a great resource to see what's going on. We do have a lot going on, and I'm really sorry I'm short on time. I'm trying to gather my things and get out the door to take my son to soccer practice. I wish I could spend a lot more time talking to you guys about this.
Yeah, don't feel under pressure, mate, at all, because like I say, you can come back again. It's great that we've been able to get eyes on the project. Like I say, I think the art's again is brilliant. Me personally, I'm not really experienced in NFTs at all. It's quite new to me, whereas I know Franco's, he's got many NFTs. So for me, I'm learning, but I'm also like seeing amazing art, and I can actually understand why people actually purchase them. Whereas kind of like prior, it's just been a thing what I've just thought has not had a purpose. But as this all unfolds, I can actually see, the intentions behind it. And again, I think it's brilliant. And I'd love you to come back on the show when you have got more time, to kind of network as well as just showcase this, because I think it needs showcasing. I just want to say well done. And
yes, thank you. One other thing I want to point out is we do have a proprietary type of metadata method where we're hosting it locally on our developer's computer, and which allows us to change these pictures and videos out anytime we want, which would tie into our game, which will be automated, so we don't have to manually push every time. You make an upgrade in the game, and bam, your NFT metadata changes right there on the fly. So
just really quickly cool. Before you go,
and there's a lot going on, and I would love a chance to be able to talk to you guys again about it sometime in the future.
Just quickly before you go, so obviously I want to say thank you to your community, because your community's been amazing, and I just want to say, just for the listeners, have they got anything in the short term to be excited about? Anything that you can share with them?
Yeah, I mean, beyond our app that's coming up, we're also developing a pretty cool 3D game. That's a ways down the road, but it's been there since the beginning of the project. We've always had the intention to release something really cool, not only on PC, but that actually really works well on mobile gaming. And that's been a struggle, especially with the way Telegram keeps changing things. But we are actively working on that, and we're putting our free time in the burning both ends of the candle, trying to get that done with limited resources. But one thing we have learned in this space is how to get things done with not much. So we keep developing, we keep growing, and we're not stopping. Thank you guys so much for having us. And I hope to see you guys again soon.
No, 100%. Thank you for coming. And like I say, I knew you were short on time, so I really appreciate you making the effort to squeeze us in tonight and give your project and all the community something to listen to. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Shane. I'm interested to see the other projects too, so hopefully we can all meet up again.
Yeah, I just want to also quickly highlight that all projects who come on here and on every show, we like to do a snip of every project's pitch and give it back to them within 24 hours so that their community can then use that as content, highlighting the key aspects of your project as a visual as well as an audio. It saves a lot of time. It saves you as a dev a lot of work, having to repeat yourself over and over again. When you've got that at your disposal, you just drop it and people can listen to it. So that's just a nice to have. That's a nice gesture from Beans, and we'll continue to do that throughout our duration of doing these shows as we grow. So yeah, like I say, Badger, you'll get that and you'll be able to listen to everyone else's at the same time, so you won't miss a thing.
Sounds very valuable. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Take care. So just before we move on to Jay from Quakey, Quakey is a really exciting project. This is one project out of everybody in here that I am familiar with during my time in the space, and it is something pretty impressive. But before I come on to that, I just want to have a conversation around NFTs as a whole. Obviously, a few years back, there was massive hype. NFTs were the go-to place, but since in recent times, that hype hasn't been there. But what's the opinion on it coming back? Is it still as desirable as what it was? What's your thoughts, Jay? What's your overall mindset on NFTs currently?
Yeah, we've been having several conversations about this on crypto Twitter. Hello, everyone. Good to be here. Yeah, I think it just comes down to the fact that a lot of people have left the space. So when you have to include that in the factor, it's why NFTs. Why NFTs failing on this side of the ecosystem when it comes to Web3, and it has a lot to do with the fact that we lost a lot of people year after year. Year after year, historically, we're losing people, and a lot of bad characters out there. Some for other reasons that might have left the space, but ultimately, at the same time, we're also not, and I mean everyone, not just myself, we're not actively onboarding people. We're waiting for things to happen on their own. Now we not saying that no one's not building anything. People are definitely building. They're definitely focusing on building a brand, building a community within the crypto Twitter space and on the blockchain, and that's all good and dandy. But if you're not finding ways to bring new people in to counteract the people that are leaving, ultimately it's going to affect your own brand. It's going to affect the Web3 space as a whole, not just NFTs, but just in general. So that's one thing I want to talk about. It's my time to talk about Quakey, because that's what we're actually working on. With my podcast, that's what I've been focusing on since 2024. Focusing on ways to very subtly, interview brands, and all brands, not just Web3 communities, but all brands and all Web3 communities under one platform. By doing that, anyone that does tune into that podcast, they'll just see people. They won't know the difference, which one's Web3 and which one's not, right? And then the people that are not Web3 will hear us talking about blockchain and how it has some type of use case, and maybe that will stir up the idea for them to get involved and ask questions and learn about it. So that's what I'm doing with the podcast, and there's a lot more with the Quakey side of things. But just to answer your question, long story short, the reason why NFTs is failing is because we're losing people and no one's bringing them back in. And why would anyone come here if there's already a bad stigma about people losing money with scams? So that's how I feel about it.
No, that's 100% correct. And I just want to say that I think it's actually brilliant the way that you're doing that you don't divide the Web 2 and the Web 3. You basically account everyone as equal, and it's through education that then Web 2s will learn from the Web 3s, but they're all under the same umbrella. I think that's actually genius, because I think a lot of people would probably separate the two, because they would try and target conversations to each different audience, whereas you just let it come natural through conversation as a whole, which I think that's the best. I think that's brilliant, and you're 100% right. The space is it is losing people, and people are losing confidence and trust. And I personally, I think Pump Fun's to blame for the majority of it. Don't get me wrong, but it was happening before Pump Fun. And the way that we as people and the community need to make note of this as well is that everybody needs to tighten their own circle and stay within trusted groups and listen and kind of advise as well. So that way, community members, you should be only navigating in the circles where your trusted projects navigating into. Otherwise, you could possibly get burned. And also great with your podcast is that you're finding a way to bring people in. We're trying to do it slightly different in terms of the shows. So the way that we're trying to target it at Beans is that we're able to set something like this up with a show, and we'll go and talk to influencers on different social platforms. So for instance, TikTok, and we'll find a group of people who are all interested in agriculture or makeup, nothing to do with crypto whatsoever, but we provide a platform for them to all come on and have a conversation with one another, which is beneficial for them because they'll increase their own follow count through conversation and interest. And what we can do is then educate them about crypto, and because we provide that platform, they're possibly open to helping us get word out to their communities, their followers at the same time. And again, I think it's always about helping one another in the space. I don't believe any individual or any project can do it all and know it all. I think many collaborations, strength in numbers is key. And that's what I'm trying to push on this show at every opportunity, for connections to kind of link up off the back end. Beans doesn't have to be included in it. Like, just make connections, listen to what people have got to say, and support. You don't have to receive something for doing somebody a favor and directing them into the right directions. You can do that and not expect anything in return. And by doing that gesture, you're highlighting yourself as a good person from a good project that their community can then say, what, they're good people, they're from a good project, I'm going to go and support that project as well. So that's my belief. Welcome, Zach. How are you, mate? I think Zach's cut out, maybe. Mud, are you there, mate?
Yes, sir.
Just 1
I'm
second.
sorry, fellas. I am so sorry. Gentlemen and ladies there, I am here running and gunning. I apologize so much for being late and not prepared. But hey, y'all, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to wherever y'all are.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to come, Zach.
Thank y'all for inviting me. Thank you so much for letting me get up here and talk amongst you. Got some legends in here. And just shout out to Mr. Hunsinger. Thank you very much, my friend. That is a good friend that I've made here recently over the past probably 2 months. So that's why I'm here tonight.
That's right. That's right. Welcome in, Zach. I appreciate you showing up, buddy. I am Hunsinger, aka the JR.
I'm
So
saying, what?
if anybody wondering, I usually, but ask me. But yeah, man, I'm glad you came on. Thank you for coming on, dude.
JR, your voice, the cadence, the twang, it's just different. I didn't even know that was you talking, brother.
Oh yeah, man. Where do you think I'm from? I'm down south. You think I'm further south than you are?
Yeah, no, I'm saying I didn't match that was you talking. I don't know how I missed it. But anyway, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? What's up, everybody? Yeah. So, what's up, man? How you doing, man? You having a great day? You have a good day?
I'm good, y'all. I was getting together like the little audio commercial that I had made for us, JR, and just getting together some of this bearded ape stuff so I could actually join in the conversation, be of value to y'all, chat about y'all stuff, my stuff. But I've been okay, man. I've been okay. I've been good. I'm getting better these past few days. I started a new schedule. How are you? What's up with Beans and Baloney? What's up with DGNRadio? I love it. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're doing. We've been building DGNRadio for, oh man, I can't even tell you how long we've been doing this. I know we've been live at least 6 months, but at least. Now I could be wrong. My dates are always wrong. I can never remember exactly when anything specific happened. I just remember a roundabout time. So yeah, I just kind of go with the flow. I mean, that's what we've been doing is just building the radio, getting going. You know, building Beans of Bologna Productions, building a legend. Just getting it up there.
Building a legend.
Yep. But
I,
this is about you. This is about you. This isn't about me. So let's talk about you. What have you got going on? I want to hear the sauce.
the sauce. Well, there is
The sauce.
something that Matt, the developer of the Bearded Ape Society, dropped on us 2 days ago. And then something he dropped on us yesterday. So real quick, for those of you that I haven't got to meet yet, I look forward to it. I see a couple of names that I'm familiar with. My name is Zach. I've been around the meme and NFT scene for coming up on about a year in, what would that be, November. I fell into the NFT and meme scene because I wanted to make a living in Web3, in crypto. I know that may sound wild and grandiose thinking, and it is. But I thought of what's the easiest, where can I break into this? From being in crypto for close to like 5-6 years, and then investments in traditional terms, and then a lot with solar stocks and things, just precious metal stacking. So I've always been obsessed with just the essence of being an entrepreneur. First job was a man in a mower. That was the name of the damn lawn company. So that's always been there. So I got into memes and NFTs. I love art, have a little graphic design degree, all these good things kind of lined up. But I fell into the NFT and meme scene with the Bearded Ape Society. I was an investor and a holder. That's it. Became friends with the dev, Matt. Started to express that, yeah, man, I'm here every day because I'm trying to make a living, a life in this. He worked with me. He watched what I was doing with marketing, with networking, with just building, a small business. That's the way I looked at it. The NFTs were like a little introduction into your portion or your holding of the company, which is the token, the brand that I viewed. So basically, y'all, I just threw myself into the meme and NFT scene. I got scammed May 29th of everything. So that completely almost killed all types of paths and avenues I was trying to take. I stayed with it. I stuck with it. I turned in overdrive. I started drawing people's NFTs, sending them to them if they're in the United States for free. I started to just really look at what in the hell is rating? What in the world is shilling? What is this moderating a chat? All of these things that we all know good and well, being involved in the industry, in the space, what they are, but I just threw myself into it. I was able to use skills and things that I've, honed in and not mastered or perfected, but just worked on a lot of skills, people, skills. I wouldn't say mathematics, even though that's very vital, but just in terms of geopolitical happenings, what's going on with this market and how's it affect, just looking, I believe, at the writing on the walls and reading in between those lines, and now becoming less afraid to say, hey, y'all, I see this and think this. And so I believe this is a good avenue or a good investment, or, hey, just watch me because I think this is good. And if it fails, then you're of no risk. But if it pops off, you've missed out some. But I've watched so many things, JR, come true through these conspiracy theories over the years with crypto, precious metals, just everything, that now I don't care. I express my opinion in a polite and humble way. But the Bearded Ape Society was the only project that I felt I connected with huge. Beards, I don't have one now because I shaved it off because I'm going through a beard growing phase with my community, with my investors, using our products. So I became heavily involved with the Bearded Ape Society, JR. I never looked back. He actually started to give me power in terms of, hey, Zach, what do you think the mint price should be? Hey, Zach, what do you think a mechanic should be? Hey, here's free reign, brother. Let's brainstorm. Let's build this brand. Let's do this and stick around. And that came out of me and Matt, the dev, becoming actual friends. I'm texting this dude constantly. We're on video phone calls. His kids love soccer, and he's always loved just very personal things we started to connect on. So he gave me a lot of power, and yes, he started to pay me with NFTs or with our token. Because he saw the value of actually taking a chance and putting some belief in someone. After, I'd say, about 3 months, we knew each other like on and off every other day. So anyway, I created an LLC that is Web3 Truth. Web3 Truth and myself, Zach, in turn, being an RWA consulting business, we grabbed up a collaboration with a phenomenal woman that makes products. She makes hair, skin, and nail products for females initially for a long time, well before I ever came around. And we met in a space on X. We hit it off, and she started to consider my idea for an RWA. I expressed to her, obviously, my business plan and blah, 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 but she saw an opportunity. She saw potential before greatness. She said, Zach, all right, so we're looking at a project on the XRPL, on the XRP ledger, that has, at this point, 2 hand-drawn NFT collections that reward in native token and reward in XRP, airdropped. Yes, okay, that's amazing. Now, on top of that, you're wanting to collab with me because the project needs a new revenue stream, because you are looking for long-term. This is the future. This is your business. Okay, awesome. So if we make products, beard balms, beard oils, soaps, hell, maybe a deodorant. I don't know. You know us bearded apes, we stink sometimes. Maybe a toothpaste, Zach, you want a new revenue stream, and I hold the keys to part of that in my product line of hair, skin, and nails. So a beard balm and oil, let's do it, Zach. So I was the first male that she took on, the first actual business partner, mind you, that she took on or that she has so far. We launched October 31st, and JR, you tell me to shut up at any point, my friend. we launched October 31st of last year. We changed our art because I said, Matt, if we come out with another collection, and we were toying with not coming out with another collection, we don't want to just blast, people in the space with just NFT collection after NFT collection. We're long term. We need a new revenue stream. We need something real. Not that NFT sales aren't real, but we can't just mooch and keep tossing collections out there. We need something real. So we made a third collection. That third collection, the art changed. Thank the Lord, Matt's an amazing artist, and it is badass. They are called the Immortal Apes. That's the third collection. Now that collection's art changed slightly, and we threw in an RWA. We threw in a real world asset. We threw in beard oil. There were 20 of those NFTs. If you minted an NFT that was holding a bottle of oil, you got a bottle of oil sent to you. You just paid shipping and handling.
Just a question, Zach, in regards to the products. So are these products all tested and gone through regulation?
I love it. So, yes, sir. Our products, Miss Kita, she has her own LLC, and she has her own licensing in the state of Texas. So these products are made in Fort Worth, Texas, and she has the appropriate licensing because of like the application to, the body. Is that FDA? I believe is the acronym or the initials they use. I believe that that's the licensing, but she does have all appropriate licensing. This stuff is put through her rigorous testing and my rigorous testing as far as the ingredients being all natural, and some of those are actually gathered. They're local there. Like she has a beef tallow that's not in any of my products or my line of beard products, but her beef tallow in other products, it comes from a cattle ranch freaking in Fort Worth. That's pretty cool. But yes, to my understanding, one, I'll never tell you anything I do not know. I'll always say I'll find out. So I will find out exactly what licensing it is that she has. But yes, by all means, she's licensed up. She's approved. Again, she was doing this well before I ever existed.
Yeah, the FDA is the correct acronym, so you must have plunged that from somewhere. So she's obviously mentioned that to you at some stage, because otherwise you wouldn't have just put them letters out your head. But
sir,
I just wanted to make the audience aware. That's all. Just if they're going to be purchasing it, that they're safe and it's not going to give them any sort of bad reactions and stuff. And that it has had vigorous testing. Just also before we go on, obviously I've just been looking through the NFTs. I've been looking at your chart even as well, and 73k market cap, and you've been around about 10 months. Is the focus more on the NFTs, or is it spread throughout? Like what area do you feel like needs more pushing, and which one's thriving the most?
I love the engagement and the deep questions. Thank you. And they're very important questions too. Very important as far as the application of a product to the skin or body. Very, very, very tedious and rigorous, I guess, paperwork and proving of herself she had to go through. So before I put my name on something and risk all of this stuff too, because it is, y'all, it's scary. Yes, by all means, this is all licensed and tested, and she is good to go. Yes. Second, very good question. I love the what do you feel may need pushing? What, Zach, do you feel may be the focus? My focus, and I know Matt's focus, has been, again, what is it that we need to set in place, because we believe the XRPL is the leading ledger. It's going to be the blockchain. That's just our belief. I love Solana too. But we just want to, in terms of business and longevity, XRPL and what mechanics and what revenue streams, what will keep us relevant and also keep us going. And then importantly, someone touched on earlier, how am I onboarding new individuals? How am I educating new individuals to bring actual new people, into our world? Because I am so passionate about all of this, because I fear for your wallet, his wallet, her wallet, my dad's wallet, my sister's wallet, Jeffrey's wallet that's over at the lawn and garden store. Like, I legitimately am like, yo, general public, all of us, my friends, my family, let's get educated together, because this stuff is real. It's not the future anymore. It's now. And so getting back to your question, I feel like the 3 collections sold out, and they all sold out the same way. A lot of action in the beginning. And mind you, I wasn't here for, I think, the first about 2 months the project was actually around. I came in randomly, but I came in right about halfway of the first collection minted out. The collections minted out in the same fashion, all 3, to my understanding. I was around for most of the first one, but they went action in the beginning, kind of fizzled out a little bit, kept reiterating, what we were going to do and trying to build that trust, because we all say a bunch of stuff, but what are we going to actually do? And in 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, what did they say they were going to do? And what did they do? The collection sold out once people and myself and our team and the community got enough people to believe that, hey, we're going to be giving back native token, and here's our white paper, here's the plan, the roadmap, this is what we're looking at. And I say white paper, Matt actually doesn't have a white paper. We don't have a white paper yet. Tisk. But the thing that needs most attention, I think, between the NFT collection selling the way they did, taking a good, I think about 2 months, both of them. So it wasn't a quick mint out at all. It was more of a prove yourself type of thing. And I think that once we started posting wallet screenshots, people started to actually see, and actually invest with us and stay with us. Because I know we're a meme coin, but we've tried to create so much utility and other portions of our project to where we're not a meme coin. We're in the meme scene. But my goodness, between applications of people giving haircuts live from Las Vegas at the Red Rock Casino, and promoting the Bearded Apes because he's a huge holder and he's the director of barbers there, using our own products in his business on live stream, and those products being purchasable with native token or fiat or XRP. Just I get so excited, but I think what needs most attention is literally our visibility. I still think we're the most undervalued project on the XRPL. I'm very humble, but passionate and confident. But I do believe, from being here for almost a year, our rewards have been the heaviest. And what just happened, Matt implemented staking through the Flare network. So you can stake our native token Bapes on Ember X at their platform through Flare, and you can stake our native token now. And then we re-implemented Bearded Ape Society re-implemented a reward system for the first collection. We are giving back the native token Bapes for holding the OG collection. So I think that visibility is what is suffering the most. I've jumped on TikTok. I've got my TikTok shop. Miss Keita works very closely, obviously, with the Bearded Apes, and she has it on her website. Obviously, she has it on Spotify. She just was at an in real life event in Dallas last weekend. I myself and her and our DAO, TrueFi, will all be in XRP Las Vegas. We all were in Fort Lauderdale at the XRPL Staple Crew convention. So we're everywhere. We're all out and about. Real life, connection and onboarding is vital and huge. I've got QR codes on everything, even my swag that I wear to these events. I want to educate people first and foremost. Bapes, XRP, all that can come later. I want to be able to just onboard people to get a wallet, to understand how they can purchase a crypto of their choosing.
Just
But
on
yeah, I
that,
think we suffer visibility.
yeah, so just on that, obviously it'll be great because I actually have a show planned for the back end of April where it's solely focused on XRPL and the chain as a whole. So projects from that chain will come over. So it'd be great if you could be part of that because I understand a lot of people aren't aware about that chain or how to navigate it. So it'd be nice to put it in like basic terms for listeners. I do want to kind of like move on.
Yes.
But just to kind of like sum it up is that I think you're similar to us in terms of that we've got multiple utilities that are bringing in, multiple revenue streams, what are bringing in and all connecting up with a token. And obviously you've got the NFTs as well. And I think that's brilliant. I don't think you're missing any tricks because having the QR codes on the products, you've got that likability to retail where you actually not only you getting them to use it, but you can also educate them whilst they are holding the product themselves. Even if you put something inside the product packaging, maybe which would help them set up a wallet step by step with a certain amount of token so that they actually have their first holding of your token. And it's a very, very simple step by step process. I think that would be a good way to get that into them, even with a TG link in there. So they're coming into the community Telegram and giving feedback saying, look, I've just opened your package. I'm new to crypto. And then at that point, you can guide them as a community, not just a dev. I think it's like I say, I think it is good. I think it's brilliant what you've achieved in actually a short duration of time, really, because it hasn't been around that long. For the amount of work that you've managed to get through. I just want to open it up for questions. Action, have you got any questions, mate? No, you're gonna have to take a lap, Action. I can't hear you.
Man, I just want to thank you though while we're in between. Thank y'all for the time that y'all have allowed me.
No, it works out
Yeah, Zach.
perfectly because
I'm not just a friend, man. I'm also a customer. I can attest to that his beard oil.
Yes, you can, JR.
Yes, sir. It's great stuff, man. I don't even use cologne. That's how good that shit smells.
Right?
You know?
I don't. Real quick too, and I promise I'll be quiet. I use a lot of my big time investors and people that agree to it in my marketing stuff. We're dealing with beards. I see Mr. Franco's got an awesome beard. Yep. So I literally pay guys that want to be beard models. I have a commission-based system that I just released that if you outside of TikTok get barbershops or private barbers to purchase, you get a commission. I've got it all mapped out. It's pretty sweet. I'm trying to create an entire ecosystem around this. So I'm trying to provide, a project that says, wow, that project provides potential commissions, employment-based commissions. That project passively pays you, rewards you for holding. That project has applications of its own product. So I'm trying to get a barber in every state. We're in Germany, Australia, Philippines, Canada. So yeah, y'all DM me, tap in. I'm just a normal dude that took a chance and tried to follow my passion.
No, I appreciate that, Zach. And like I say, I really want to get you back on.
Please, thank you.
Down the line, and it's been great to have you. I am conscious of time because we have only like an hour left of the show, and we've still got other projects to come up. But like I say, just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully next time you come round, you'll have more information for us.
I have a question for Zach, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
sir.
for it, Franco.
Don't you like the Dutch?
The Dutch?
Couldn't order it here, man.
Hey, there's a bottle in Finland.
Yeah, that's not Dutch. That's not the Netherlands, man.
I know, but it's kind of up there, right?
That's a shit. Yeah, that's way too far, man.
Okay, never mind.
It wasn't accepting a credit card or something. It was impossible, man. That's Germany, you can. Then the Dutch not. That's terrible, man.
No, there's one. Yeah, in Germany, Mr. Helm Jansen. But then, okay, Franco, I need to DM you and get a bottle up there.
Cool. I know a lot of barbers, so who knows, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely work stuff out. Like with JR, I absolutely am still in the grassroots phase of building and finding individuals that say, hey, Zach, that's a pretty good thing you got going on. Let's see, is there any way I could fit in? Because I can bring this and this to the table. I am so open right now, and I'm in talks with a few people, but I do know what I hold. And so it is a privilege, I think, to jump in on with certain projects and things that are happening. And I have to say it because I never do this. This is good. This is a really good thing that I've built along with everyone else that's done it with me, Matt, and the community. So I'm going to shut up. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Is my mic working now? Oh, here we go. I mean,
yeah, your mic's working, actually.
Fucked now.
You got anything to add, brother?
Yeah, no, it's a really cool project. A beard owner myself, it's more complex to keep care of this thing than people realize, I think. Like your skin can get really dry and itchy if you don't use some kind of oil, if you're not like deep scrubbing. So yeah, you've got some cool stuff going on. Your branding is on point, to be honest. Like I agree that even if you're not into like NFTs or you don't even know what Bored Ape Yacht Club is or whatever, you could definitely identify with that brand. So yeah, you got some really cool stuff. So you have the oil and what was the other one? Like a balm?
Yeah, he has a balm.
Oh, he might be frozen. Okay. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
I have a great idea, man. Kick everybody without a beard.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane, you fuck also.
There we go. We got enough testosterone on here now.
Yeah, no.
I'm starting to feel like the only person who's clean shaven on here.
Hey, no, you're not. I'm clean shaven. I've got to be for work.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I can grow a pretty wicked beard if I wanted to. I just need a couple of days off.
Oh yeah, at work doesn't let you have a beard?
Nah, my face will catch on fire otherwise.
Yeah.
But I actually do like that project. I do hope he does come back. But I just want to swiftly move on, conscious of time. That's all.
We have a question in the chat. Are the ingredients organic or lab tested?
they're organic.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna step down as well. I've got to take care of some kids and get them ready for bed. But I appreciate you having this show. Appreciate Jay. I appreciate Zach. I appreciate you guys coming on and really putting it on for me. I really, really appreciate you, and I will catch everybody really, really soon. Peace, everybody.
Thanks
See
a
you,
lot,
JR.
JR.
Good to see you, man.
You too.
So next up, guys, this is a project I'm really excited for everyone to listen to. It's been around a long time. It's got some very, very great people involved in this project. And next up's Quakey with Jay. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good, man. I'm definitely happy to be here for sure. Thanks for the invite. A lot of amazing projects I've heard so far. And I see the communities popping in. Shout out to Beta TV. That's awesome. Yeah, so Quakey's been around for quite some time. Community formed together in, I would say, the summer of 2024. I mentioned earlier that I had my podcast and I was doing my I'm a brand ambassador for the Pigeons of New York and NSC Energy Drinks, if you guys are familiar with those projects. Way before I decided to be a part of the Quakey Collective. You know, it's I've known a few of the core members for quite some time. Shout out to Stu Kwan, shout out to Apollo. These are people I've met in on crypto Twitter. Individually, everyone's been doing their own thing, and we all just came together. You know, I've in real life, outside of crypto Twitter, I'm into sales. You know, have been building up a lot of communities for quite some time, and coming into the space, it just seems like second nature to me. But one thing I've been saying, I've noticed quite some time about the space is that a lot of people are leaving the space, which is why I decided to do my podcast to try and build communities that can really come together. I'm sorry, give me one second.
Yeah, no worries
Yeah,
at
we'll
all, Jay. Yeah, so at the moment we've just got the website up at the moment. As he mentioned, Stu Kwan, who's a member of the team, is somebody who I've spoken to in the past and shared many spaces with.
I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
No, great. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, so I'm glad you have the website up there. That's excellent. So the piggyback what I was saying before is that I decided to make an NFT project only after a good friend of mine, Stu Kwan, actually made a mobile game. He really inspired me to get into the ecosystem with Quakey because starting off with Stu Kwan, he never focused on putting out anything in the space. You know, he's always been the guy to do the IRL events, and he's a great person to onboard people with his connections as being a professional DJ in the Web 2 space, into the Web 3 space. So I was inspired by that. He came out with the mobile game. He partnered up with Glitchcraft Studios. Big shout out to Glitchcraft Studios, King Boo Boo and Michael. And that really inspired the NFT side of things for me. You know, I've been in space for a long time, so I have some experience when it comes to that stuff. And coming out with a project called Quakey on the Rise, very small project, 100 NFTs on the Solana blockchain. These are all ducks. It's the name Quakey, kind of sounds like quacky. And they're all one of ones. But I decided to use the podcast as the utility for the project. So at the time when we dropped the project in March of 2025, it was simply that if you owned, let's say, about 5 of the NFTs, or 6 of the NFTs, you got interviewed by me, right? And how and why was that important? Because when I interviewed people for my podcast, I would simply market them for a week or two beforehand. So a lot of people in 2024, a lot of projects wanted me to interview them because I would market them as a brand ambassador or in different spaces. I would talk about their projects in different spaces way before I would actually do the interview, which is what, drove people to want to have me interview them. So I just use that for utility for Quakey on the Rise. And I mentioned before that Stu Kwan is a professional DJ, and he does about 500 events a year. He has his own team. He teaches people how to DJ, so that became an added utility for Quakey on the Rise NFT collection. And we sold that collection out less than 3 hours. Um, it was a joint effort with the community because a lot of people like the art. What came from that is other projects. I will say before that project, a gentleman by the name of Apollo did put out the website. He did put out his own collection called Quakey Coin NFT. And Apollo has a great mind, right? I have to mention all these different names and all these different people because we are the collective. It's like really look at it as if every person that's being interviewed right now on this YouTube, on this X platform, imagine if all of us, all the different brands that have been interviewed, we all just came together and we helped each other out. Like there's not one founder that represents all the brands, and that's pretty much what the Quakey Collective is. There's not one particular person that is in charge of all of us. We all independently work separately, but we work together. And I think with the idea of the collective, it really changed the narrative and why we've been able to last so long and grow over time, because we can count on each other.
Yeah, I was just going to highlight that because obviously I was just saying while you went off that I was familiar with Stu Kwan. He always seems to be in a car whenever I do end up getting a conversation with him. So he's always on the move, like you say, and he's based out of New York. Is that correct?
Yes, he's from New York. I'm from New York initially. I'm not there anymore, but I was there up until 2024.
Yeah, and what I always like about this is like you have your somewhat like your core team members, but the community puts the work in massively as well. You know what I mean? It isn't just reliant onto a team, and I think that's something that all communities should pay attention to in this space. Like, yes, you can hold a bag, but there's more that you can do to support and push a project. It doesn't have to be a massive amount, but a contribution. And this is what Quakey nails, because Quakey's community turns out all the time for yourself, for Stu Kwan, whenever I'm certainly around and kind of been paying attention. So I just wanted to get that in there because the Quakey community is actually, it's unbelievable. And I know that you're aware of that, but I just wanted to make that clear for people who are listening in from other projects, perhaps, or off other social platforms.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. A lot of people say that their community is different, and they probably are different. But one thing I'll say, and I'm never going to say that Quakey is not ruggable, because anything can be ruggable, right? But what I want to get across is that because there's so many people that are part of Quakey, and because there is no one team per se. Yes, there's a core team right now, but there's multiple core teams, multiple teams. I mean, if someone were to step away, right, from that, there's so many other moving parts in the ecosystem that the collective will still thrive, is what I'm getting at. So I mentioned that I'm into the NFT side of things. I mentioned that Stu Kwan is a co-founder, of the same project. I mentioned that he also put out a mobile game that inspired me to do this. I also mentioned that Apollo, who's a dev for Quakey, made the website and had his own collection. I didn't mention that he also made a metaverse on Nifty Island. I didn't mention that the guy builds robots in his actual laboratory. I also didn't mention that. Yeah, I also didn't mention that he also made an e-bike that actually mines Bitcoin back in 2022, and now we're working together on a project called Quakey Undefined. So Quakey on the Rise came out last March, sold out. I mentioned before that I'm all about the onboarding. Through the connections of Stu Kwan, knowing people, he asked myself, he asked Bronx Crypto from New York, he asked Vita TV to, go to John Jay University in Manhattan and to talk about blockchain technology at a tech fair. So this wasn't like a Web3 event. This was a tech fair, talking about all different types of technology. We were the only ones, might have been the last, I think we were the last speakers to talk about blockchain. Everyone had their talking points. Bronx Crypto talked about what crypto was. Vita talked about metaverse. I talked about NFTs. And then Stu wrapped it up with the Quaking Collective. But, that it kind of fueled things for us after we sold out the collection. So
I've just got a question for you, Jay.
yeah, sure.
So I'm getting the impression that you all kind of work in your own fields, and you take control in different areas. Do you think that's what makes Quakey as strong as it does? That you can all have individual focuses that just work side by side, and to progress the project that way. Whereas a lot of projects, they might have like somewhat too many chefs in the kitchen, and that somewhat kind of can delay things. Do you think that's reasonable to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's when it comes to Quakey, I would say that it's not the easiest. It may look easy from the outside looking in, but we've had people that wanted to be the chief, or thought that maybe thought that their way was the only way, and maybe they just found a different way afterwards. That happens in every group. It happens probably in every community, every team, what have you. But I would say that when it comes to the team that's still here since the beginning, I would say that we all independently can do things without anyone. We all can thrive and are rock stars in our own right. And then also on top of the fact, to be in a community like this where there are no paid brand ambassadors and everyone is volunteering to work together, you have to be a certain type of person to be a part of something like that. When you look at the grand scope of things, people ask to be part of the collective of Quakey. People ask to be part of the team, and we just say, listen, we're all volunteering to work together here and to make a change. And people hear that and go, oh, make a change. Yeah, sounds great. I want to be part of that. And then they try to be a part of it, but they don't actually put the effort in. Then they realize, oh, you guys are really trying to make a change. And there is no quote unquote you're hiring people type of situation, unlike everyone else. Now there's nothing wrong with that, right? But we're the collective.
I think you've got to be a certain sort of person as well. Like it's easy enough.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't. It's all good and well saying that you want to make that difference and you want to make a change, but then to put that into practice and use your initiative and actually deliver on what you're saying, not everyone can do it. Like that's just a matter of fact. you can want to be part of something, but then does the glove fit at the end of the day? So no, I love that. And
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that was just going to say I love that. I just love that aspect, and I also love what you're doing as well, in terms of being so supportive and basically supporting and bringing a load of different projects and kind of making them, highlighting them and giving them a safe haven to be in amongst, like, as a collective circle. And I obviously love the way you bring in retail into the space with Web 2 and Web 3 as a blend, and kind of putting everybody on the same kind of putting them all in the same basket instead of kind of separating the two.
Yeah, and we don't ask KOLs to be a part of Quakey. We actually build our own. Everything is in house with the collective, and I think that's why a lot of people want to be associated or want to collaborate with us. I can give you some examples. I won't name any names, but there are people that have come around since like the beginning of 2025, even 2024, but more so 2025, that never spoke before, never were speakers on a space. They're listeners, and they were like reply guys, reply girls, or engaging on crypto Twitter, and opened up to us because of how we're talking, how we carry ourselves. A lot of us are like family people, godly people for that matter. I don't know what denomination you guys are into, but myself and Apollo and myself and Stu, we have wives, we have kids. So there's certain things that we can tolerate, some things that we don't. There's some things that we can support, there's some things that we don't support. Quakey works out for us because it's a duck. So it's a blue duck, very marketable, and easygoing on the eyes if you're trying to market anything when it comes to products, to any Web2 businesses. Anything like dynamic or anything, we would. I would imagine that we probably wouldn't push. And no disrespect to anyone that does, but for us, it works out that way. You know what I mean?
I think it's attractive for both genders. I think it's relatable for all ages. I don't think there's a limit to what you can actually do, because I believe I've seen merchandise as well highlighted on your X page quite a few times. Like not bracelets, but like necklaces and stuff like that, which you've done giveaways with and for the community and stuff like that. Might have even seen a watch at one point.
Well, yeah, actually, that's for the Quakey on the Rise V2. The artist, he's from Malaysia. He actually, I don't remember posting that. I might be giving away too much information, but he actually customizes watches, and that's going to be a giveaway that we do eventually. But to circle it back to physical products, I see you have the website up there. You got people like Gio. He's great at designing sneakers, custom sneakers actually, and clothes, graffiti and all that. And so is Tuquan. A lot of the core team members, a lot of them are artists. Some of them are even musicians. There's even music NFTs that have come out of this. I got to give a shout out to an individual by the name of Lexi Bonti, only because we're talking about music right now. Lexi Bonti, coming from Nigeria, Lagos, he actually, and this is before he even met Quakey, but he actually put a song out called Believe. And that song, I believe, is definitely on launch by NFT on Solana. It's still minting now, actually. But why I'm mentioning Lexi Bonti, yes, he was part of the core team, what have you, but he was able to accomplish something really, really big. I don't think a lot of people in the space know that, so I want to make sure I give the flowers where flowers are due. He performed that song in front of thousands of people at a festival back in October, a big festival. But not only that, he also got interviewed at a radio station after he performed that song. Now, the song This is a Web3 song. This is a music NFT. The song got played on 2 different radio stations in Nigeria 2-3 times a day. So
it was a big deal. It
was a huge deal. Now the thing about it is the hosts of the radio show asked him to come on the show, talk about where they can find the music and what have you. I guess it wasn't disclosed about how he can't talk about crypto on the show. So that same interview was being streamed live on X. So as a community, we all watched it together, and we saw behind the scenes where the host didn't actually want him to talk about crypto and to even mention that it was a music NFT. So we actually got to see firsthand that, you know, people don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, they didn't know that it wasn't streamable on Spotify or even on iTunes. So this is somebody that is getting crazy attention from that I know of, from a music NFT being played, but they didn't know it was a music NFT. So knowing that information, this leads up to another conversation I was saying before, finding subtle ways to introduce what we do here in our ecosystem and in Quakey Collective, or even I would say on a broader range in Web3 to the masses. There has to be a way to do it subtly where eventually they'll figure things out. Because if you go too direct with it, they might just go, "Oh, I didn't want to hear it." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's not like you're ramming it down people's throats. Like, it's not like the approach of it is just, it's like very subtle and very strategic and gentle. It's not like pushing it and ramming it in people's faces in every kind of aspect that you do. And it's like we were lucky enough on the last show to have, so I've got my head around music NFTs, because on the last show we did, it was around music NFTs, and we had some artists, some quite good, well-known artists actually come on, and they were saying like the difficulties that they had, and the pros and cons, and like what your guys doing here to be able to do that into a huge audience live was an aspect that I didn't hear them say, even though they managed to sell a lot of tracks and records through their all musical NFTs. But he's actually physically gone out and done that, and then had things off the back of it, which is, you know, that what an achievement that is for the project and for him personally. I imagine that kind of, you know, set the standard, you know, and hopefully more's to follow from that individual. And like I say, did that bring a lot of the Nigerian community in?
It did. And even before that happened, before the song even came out, Quakey Africa was a thing. You know, you had people like God Will Provide and Dizzy J and David and Queen Quakey. We had people. We have content. If you go to the community section of the website, you can see all these people actually going to conferences and representing and asking people, you know, whether they know about blockchain technology, what they know about metaverses and all that. So it and you know, the music did help. The music did help. I will say that heavily. And there's new music to come out as well. So I say all of this to say, if you know, one of those people walked away from Web3 entirely and just went back to reality, I guess you can say, it would all still be good, because once again, there is not one founder for Quakey. There's multiple founders and multiple potential people that can be a founder. It's a large sum of people. There's also people that are not even in crypto Twitter that actually do workshops IRL. You know, people that are part of, like, you know, exchanges coming out. I'm just briefly mentioning that one part of it, but there's a widespread of people out there that are part of the collective and have either been inspired by what they've seen, IRL events wise, big shout out to Vita TV. He does a whole streaming service that he offers several companies. Right now my podcast, the Jake and Ness podcast, I have my Made by Apes license. So big shout out to Yuga Labs and Ape Chain Hub and Vita TV for that opportunity. I'm on the actual directorate, so if anyone were to see my logo and see my license, which is in my profile, and they needed someone to like interview people, they can reach out. Same thing with the Quakey Collective. We've only been around for a year and a half, but the impact and how large the community is has caught a lot of attention. And I'm just one of the voices of Quakey, right? But I'm not the founder, because there is no founder.
But at the end of the day, you're not just a voice, Evie. To be fair to you, you do a lot more than just be a voice. And like what you do is, I've been around your spaces for quite a long duration. Like I've been in listening to you. I've heard you come in and speak, and been around kind of like similar circles with you. And you are like a very what's the word? Trustworthy individual in the space that a lot of people look up to and recommend. So I just wanted to kind of give you your flowers as well at the same time. It shows in the chat down the side. You've got people here on multiple different social platforms here commenting how great you are, what a good community leader you are, how good you are at speaking. And like I say, I think you need to kind of give yourself more credit than that.
I appreciate him being humble, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you.
In this space.
Thank you. I think people's perception of me, because there are times I can be extra excited about things that work out, and maybe envy gets built up behind it because it's kind of comical sometimes to talk about. And because I am so transparent, I might say too much, and for someone that maybe doesn't have everything to talk about or doesn't have enough to talk about, it may sound like, okay, he's just bragging. But every time I talk about anything, most times I'm talking about someone else. I just happen to be a part of it. So it sounds like I got a lot going on, right? But it's really not necessarily me. It's the collective. And anybody, I keep telling people, anybody can be part of the collective. But at the end of the day, a lot of people just want to have their names on things, and I'm not here to do a Jake and Next a preaching service. This is an interview, but I just wanted to say that I am happy that I am with the family, and my family, Apollo and Stu Kwan and Vita, and many others we've gotten to know each other IRL. I've gotten to meet Stu Kwan's daughter, his whole family. Same thing with him meeting my wife. It's different when you meet up IRL versus online. I will say that for anyone that hasn't done it yet. It's almost as if you've known them your whole life, damn near in this space. So yeah, good times all around. I want to touch on something else that's happening right now. So I didn't mention this before, but Quakey on the rise. I mentioned Stu Kwan teaching people how to DJ. He also knows how to do pitch decks. The guy does everything. He's also a rapper. He's on that song I mentioned before about Lexi Bonte, that song called Believe. He's calling Lexi Bonte on the phone. So I want to mention that for a moment. But what I'm getting at is he decided that he wanted to come out with a board game using the Quakey on the Rise art. And it's before the project even dropped, before we even knew the project would even sell out in 3 hours, before we even knew we would be at John Jay University talking about all the stuff. He decided he wanted to come out with the board game. Now, he already made the board game up with his daughter. The concept of the whole game, he made it up during the pandemic when there's nothing else going on. The pandemic, I feel like the lockdown forced a lot of people to even come into the space. to begin with. Definitely forced me. But he made the board game and used the art of Quakey to do so. Now, Apollo is building an augmented reality platform. This is how it all comes together with the current collection that we're talking about, Quakey Undefined. Apollo, the guy who built the e-bike, that mines crypto, the guy that builds robots in his lab, he might as well be like the Tony Stark of Web3. This is what I call him. He's a Tony Stark of Web3. He builds everything. You know, he's like the Hulk, Bruce Banner type stuff. Anyways, this guy told us that he can add augmented reality to all physical products that we have. And he has been doing so since the beginning. If you go to like the merch website, you'll see all the different arts and stuff. Even physical Quakey coins, he's added some cool augmented reality tech too. Apollo is pretty much finished building an augmented reality platform that has no coding required. So anybody here can actually create their own experiences. Now, usually to get some type of augmented reality tech involved in products, it can cost you $300 plus or more. It could take several hours. He was able to make this platform work where it can be done in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes, anyone is able to create this platform. So why I mentioned this platform? Because that technology, Quakey XR is what it's called, is going to be used for the board game. It's going to be used for the board game that is on pre-order right now.
Could I hop in? So what do you mean by create a platform?
He's creating a website pretty much where you're able to. It's a web-based platform, website where you're able to create your own experiences of augmented reality. So, are you familiar with augmented reality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I just don't understand the where like someone like say the Beans project wanted to go in there and create a platform. What would that look like?
Well, how it's working right now is you're getting access to the beta. The platform isn't finished yet. So he's working on it offline for the moment before he can plug it on the website. And how it works is you do have to own 8 Quakey Undefined NFTs to access the actual beta. But when it's public, you don't need obviously to have the NFTs. It will be a subscription-based platform. So why I mentioned the beta is because he wants people to try and break it. He wants people to try to use it up as much as they possibly can and use it for any physical products. Now, there are already businesses that know about this, that have already bought their NFTs and are ready to start creating those experiences. There's just to mention a few. There's actual restaurants, car dealerships. It can be used for several different things. But I could mention one project who has publicly said that they're using it. Is called NFT Energy Drinks. This is also the same project, funny enough, that I actually work for. I'm a brand ambassador for. I brought it to their attention. They have energy drinks with NFTs on the cans. So NFT art is on the cans, like little pudgy penguins. You got these Supreme Kongs, Prisons of New York. Some really cool NFTs are on those cans. And they sell those cans all across the US. Convenience stores, hotels, what have you. I think they're completely sold out of their 40,000 units, what have you. But this would be the first energy drink that will have AR tech through Quakey XR. So people can use their AR glasses, which, is coming up in the world. It's not there yet, but it is coming up. Or they can use their cell phones and they can scan the can and an animation can come up. Or whatever they want to market, maybe their website, maybe the ingredients that's inside the drink, maybe their NFTs, maybe you'll play some music. There's so many different things you can do with that. Now, I mentioned also restaurants. Here's
Yeah.
the painted picture for people with restaurants. You know, I use an example all the time. You go to restaurants, you got the menu, you have a few images on that menu, right? But there also are different entrees that you can't actually visually see because there's no pictures of it. But what if you can scan a QR code with your phone? And a lot of restaurants have you do that now to pull up the menus. You scan it with your phone, and instead what comes up instead of the menu is you actually get a breakdown of all the ingredients, what oils are being used, and you also get the size of what you're expected to get on your plate. It gives you a 3D mock-up of what it actually looks like in real time. And then you're able to like swipe left, kind of like that movie, that Tom Cruise movie. What was it called again? The Minority Report? I forget the name of the movie. But anyways, you're able to swipe left to right, and you can then see all the different dishes. So that's the power of that kind of technology that you can use. And it's not, I thought it wasn't even going to be included with the blockchain, but he said that what he's working on right now is that you have an option to put it on the blockchain or not. So this is a great way to continue to do what we've already been doing with Quakey, which is to onboard Web2 brands, companies, and also give Web3 founders a new utility. So it's helping everyone on a widespread spectrum. It doesn't matter what type of what blockchain you're on, what your vision is. If you have any real world assets, or you don't have, you might want to start thinking about doing that, because I think that's probably the only way to really save NFTs in this space, is bringing something physical out, or doing something physical in the world that we live in, so we can onboard people back into the digital. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could tie it into real world assets, or just like make people feel like they're having an experience, not that they just own something, but it like they feel something when they having that ownership of it. So yeah, I think that's a great way to tie in, bring in some of those real world businesses and like generate some revenue for the project. And get these
and to take
Phenomenal.
it and to take it a step further, what's coming out right now is the limited version. There's only going to be 500 made, so it's going to be the Quakey on the Rise art, right? The first collection came out was only 100 NFTs. Since that collection dropped, public sale was like 0.25 Solana at that time, maybe like $33. Everybody who has ever minted that NFT has made profit. Some people dropped 1 SOL for it. Some people dropped 2 SOL for it. You guys can do your own research on that. Right now, it's about 0.77 Solana. And what I should mention to everyone here is the plan has always to make that project, or anyone's first project, should be valuable. I think founders missed the ball by creating multiple collections and not finding a way to keep the value up in their first collections. And why I say that is because Quakey on the Rise, in the roadmap, by owning a Quakey on the Rise NFT, you get a free mint on all collections on all chains, because I plan on dropping my collections on multiple chains. And I want to do it with a small group of people. That's why it was only 100. It's always been the plan. Now, did I know that I was gonna get to the point where I'm at now with the collective? No, but it has become a lot easier to execute the plan because of it. Out here in Connecticut, which is where I moved to, I didn't know at the time when we bought the house out here, but I'm like 20 minutes away from the developer of Quakey. I live 20 minutes away from Apollo.
Nice.
Can't make this up. God is good. And why I say that is because last year, after we sold out the collection, we did an IRL event. We went to a Web2 duck race. This is something that they do every year out here. They do a duck race every year. They drop rubber duckies in a river, and they do raffles. And you buy the raffle ticket for like 10, 20 bucks, whatever it is. You know, the idea is obviously to raise money or for the state, what have you. But then, you know, you could win raffles to like stay at, you know, you can go somewhere to get a nice massage or go out to eat. You know, they have these small tables set up to learn about, you know, whatever they're selling at those tables. And we had a table for the collective. On the table, you had cans of the NFT energy drinks on display, no sugar. And you had the adults walking by going, "Hey, can I have one of those drinks?" And I was like, "Well, sure. You can have a drink if, and only if, you download the Quakey mobile game on your phone. Or you have kids, right? Yeah. Or you have your kids color in the Quakey on the Rise coloring book. And if you don't have kids, then you can color." But it was just, you know, the whole point of it really of doing it that way is to draw them in. Because like I said before, and earlier in this interview, is that I have experience in sales and I've done table events before. You have to find a way to bring them in. Something subtle.
Give them a taster. Give them a taster and then see they're
Yeah.
wanting more, you know.
Yes, put the product in their hand and then take it away. Watch how fastly they keep coming back for it. So,
Scampering.
Jay,
Yeah.
you have said some phenomenal stuff, man. I want to connect with you outside of here. I love it. I love what you're saying. Man, two peas in a pod, all of us.
hey man, I'm all about connecting, collaborating, and moving it forward. You know, I will say that giving it away for free, and by giving away, I'm talking about offering up your services, uh, and not expecting anything from anyone, is probably the best thing anyone could do in a space like this. A lot of people expect things from people. They expect that when they do good things, that good things will come back in return. And if you put up that wall, if you put up that wall and you don't expect anything to come back in return, you'll always feel and sleep good at night. You always feel positive, and you'll always be able to sleep good at night, knowing those things. So that's what kept me going in this space. Because if I really believe, if I really believe that if I do good by other people in this space, that they will return the favor every single time, or you know, more time than none, then I would be out of this space a long time ago. Because that's not going to happen.
I'd just like to say, I like to tell people that, okay, I trust very quickly and easily, and, you know, things I need to work on. But I will say this in this space: you put yourself out there, yes, you're going to get burned. That's just an unfortunate reality. But when you find someone else that you know has the same modus of operation as you explained, you talk about locking in with a friend and a business partner and a friend and a business partner and a friend, man, you really lock in with those people. So just kudos to all y'all, and especially what you've said here. Just amazing stuff, y'all.
Yeah,
I
man.
think that's important, you know, like we said it at the start of the show, and because Jay just mentioned it there, it's worth echoing again. The more people you can get around you within a circle who are trustworthy, who will direct you in the right areas, the better you will be, because all they're going to do is just recommend other good people, and collectively you just grow as a whole stronger. You don't really need to be kind of exploring other areas, but at the same time, the community tends to follow with the people they trust as well. So as well as Jay networking, the community are following every Jay, like all Jay's moves, you know, all the projects he's showcasing and giving an opportunity to. Them community members know that's a safe haven because Jay's got that connection with them. And I'm almost trying to kind of somewhat copy Jay into a certain extent, if you don't mind me saying. Jay is, it's about offering something in an area that lacks. And with Franco coming to the decision of wanting to do like a show like this and being able to get projects on, give them visibility, give them the opportunity to showcase whether they're new projects or whether they're long-lasting projects. As long as we know that them people have the right intentions, they're of the same sort of mindset, and we can give them the opportunity to network with other good people off the back of shows where we bring them all to one place, that's a win-win for us, because we tick every single box. And that's what our intentions are. And like I say, I speak highly of Jay anyways, because I've been in these circles before. But we're trying to do it a slightly different way, as a visual, giving people a platform like we are. And we are going to have to wrap the show up. I just want to kind of thank you very much, Jay, by the way, for going into depth on Quakey, because there was some aspects I didn't know about. But I just want to give the last 5 minutes basically for Mud. If you got any questions to Jay in regards to Quakey at all?
No specific questions, but I just have to echo what everyone else has been saying. This mindset of working together to bring global liquidity, the outside money, into the DeFi space and into projects like Quakey and like what everyone has been talking about. I can't say it myself enough how important it is that good projects are collaborating, are talking, are, even if it's not in any official way, with contracts or anything like that, just spaces like this where people are shaking hands, high-fiving, seeing each other's projects, and then you have that opportunity to say, yes, we are trying to grow this into the global liquidity to make more people aware and bring more people in. It's so important. And I love how much that message has been talked about. So I really appreciate that.
No, that's, like I say, it's a valid point. And to be honest with you, like, it's great having, thousands of viewers every show, hundreds of viewers. But to be totally honest with you, like, even if we didn't have any viewers, this would be enough in itself. Just the support network, who's as a visual on screen, being able to take advice, take criticism sometimes. Everybody needs to be able to take criticism. Someone might give feedback what, they believe's an error that someone's making, and being able to, take that on board. Like, it's not always, flowers, but we try to do it in a positive way and a respectful way. And I think that's what we need to continue doing. And again, finding ways of bringing retail into the space and showcasing projects for them people to see. Franco, have you got anything you want to add?
Your mic's muted.
I hear you, Franco.
Can't hear you, Francis.
Well,
I can hop in here. But yeah, I completely agree. Obviously everyone wants to bring in more liquidity. We want to bring in more people. But the best thing we can do is really create an environment for them to be safe. I don't like to encourage people to come in, and even if I am like in full belief that Beans is going to go to 17 billion market cap, I still think it is important to kind of check to see where they are and make sure that they're diversifying their portfolio. And, nobody should really be throwing any large amount of money into the meme space. And then also just encouraging them not to get sucked into I got a 500x betting on Titcoin or some shit, like, people coming into the space and thinking they're going to get rich on bonk.fun or pump.fun is why so many people have left the space, right? And part of what we're doing here at Beans is really trying to get everyone into a safe spot where like-minded people, like the reason I still hang out with these guys is not because they're millionaires and I want to be successful with them, but because I know that they're in a similar spot as me. They want to grow in the space. They want the space to be legitimate, and they want to be a part of that growth. and they want to be a beacon of light in this darkness of a fucking space. And I mean, it is, you know, if you go into that Degen space, you're gonna get fucking wrecked. Like, just know it. It's, you might as well go buy some lottery tickets, and even that is dumb. So I mean, like, good luck out there if that's what you want to do, but I wouldn't put more than like 5% of your investment funds into something like that. And there are some safe plays out there, but just know that, you know, if someone's telling you to put all your money into something, like, they're bullshitting you, and they don't know how to make it in the real world, especially in this world, the crypto meme space world. But yeah, no, I mean, anyone out there, you know, we're making connections, we're finding these real projects that have utility, and we're doing some of the legwork for you and bringing them in here to, you know, question them. Really, I mean, we're not going to sit here and say this person paid to be on the show and we want to pump their coin. No, like, if they come in here and they don't have their shit in order and they don't have a concrete plan, we're going to call them out on the space. And I don't think we've had anybody like that come in here and do that. But just know that there are people trying to do the right thing in the space, and there's a good group of people here doing that. But yeah, you got a really good
it has to have backbone, right? It's pretty much done with all the projects that launch without any idea behind it, without any plan behind it. It's about businesses, and it's that's what we're building, everything registered, and real world products and things like that. That will be the key to onboarding. That's what I believe. Just like my real world brand has NFTs implemented, and people don't see it often, but you know, and that's what entwined the worlds together. And yeah, this is great, man. I love this. But I will always stay DJing, man.
I just want to highlight a point, you know, Action said there, and he's 100% right for listeners. Like, if you are relatively new in the space, just invest with caution, you know, don't have to put huge amounts of money in, and never kind of go off the advice of somebody. Make your own decisions, and take that time to do the research, because I think that's one of the main stumbling blocks, is people just think because somebody else has just put a huge whack in that they should follow and do the same thing. That's not the case, because you don't know who that person is. They could have put that huge whack in to try and create that, buy pressure, and then they'll dump the bags on top of you all. So just be very, very cautious. We are over time now, so I'm just going to kind of try and wrap things up. But what I'm wanting people to do is just kind of give a final kind of closing statement, and then we'll close the show down. Off the back of the show, I've got a feedback form where we just kind of want some feedback on terms of how you feel the show went, and as individuals. If you could just take the time to do that, literally take a minute, that'd be greatly appreciated. On Friday, we have got a show based on a charity, Crypto for Her, and we've got projects from Base coming in, and they'll be showcasing themselves. But it's going to be a paid show where the actual payments go to the charity, and we're going to be doing that on a monthly basis, because we're growing a consistent number of Base projects who are working together to make a difference, which is, for me personally, brilliant. And then we're going to be doing this also with projects on Solana, with VET being the sponsored project, and that's a big one for me personally, in terms of giving to charity for ex-military, with myself being ex-military. So I'm really, really excited for that space on Friday. So if you want to come and tune in and educate yourself on some Base projects, and feel free. Also, there'll be a chance to donate yourself to a charity. It's basically to give like stationery equipment, sanitary wear to people, kids in Africa as well. It's quite cool actually, because last time I did it, they did like school books, and it had the projects logos on the face of all them books who came in and sponsored, as well as school bags and stuff. So it does really make a massive difference. And as I say, each week we'll have a different narrative, a different theme. We'll have influencers coming on who share a common interest. We'll have NFT projects. We'll have projects from XRP. We'll have ETH projects. Like, there's no limit to what we're going to bring to your eyes on a weekly basis for shows. And we just kind of ask you guys as well. I hope you've had a good experience. And what we'd like to do is also offer you back in future shows, and hopefully recommend it to other projects to get in on board and join as well, and kind of build out the network as a collective group, which can basically help and facilitate one another. So I want to say thank you to Jay from Quakey. I want to say thank you to Mud from D&D 721. I want to say thank you to Badger. He unfortunately had to leave early, which is completely fine, because like I say, if you've got to be somewhere, we'd rather you be on and showcase yourself for a short duration than not at all. And then also Zach, it was great to meet you. It's the first time I've met you. Jay has talked a lot about you, and yeah, brilliant. And I hope that you can kind of gather a collective group of XRP projects to come on and kind of talk about the chain as a whole. Not necessarily so much about your project, but you will. But just to give that educational factor, because I think it's quite a complicated chain if you ain't familiar with it to understand. So, yeah, just closing words then, please, guys. Zach.
I'll run with it. I greatly appreciate you letting me jump up here. It was run very smoothly. I'm so stoked that JR linked me up with everybody. It was a pleasure. I'm honored. And I hope to see all of you again on both sides, as a speaker, as a listener, and same page, my friends. I would love to educate individuals merely in the sense to welcome them and show them the operation of XRPL, only in terms of now they're able to make an educated kind of decision on where or what they'd like to do. But pleasure is all mine. Thank y'all so much, and everybody have a blessed evening. And Jay, I am trying to get in direct contact with you. Good man. Everybody up here, thank you again.
Thanks,
No,
Zach.
appreciate that, Zach. Thank you for taking your time to come on tonight. Mud, any closing statements?
Yeah, just continuing to do these good spaces like this, continuing to educate, bring a light to projects that are trying to make valid utilities, real products, real services, whether that's in entertainment or beard products, podcasts, anything else. Just continuing to do exactly what you're doing. I love it. We're going to keep doing our part over at D&D 721, trying to bring Web3 to the tabletop community and bringing that tabletop community into Web3, teaching people about how much opportunity there is and how much fun we can have while doing it, and sharing that message to both groups. So thanks so much for your time, and hope to see a few folks jump over and join us for some adventures.
No, absolutely. We look forward to having you back on the show again at a later date, mate. And like I say, just keep doing what you're doing. I think it's amazing. Like, I've not kind of seen anything similar to it. So yeah, I'm really excited to know more. And like I say, hope you can give us an update in the next couple of weeks as you kind of progress with your project. Jay, have you got anything you want to close down with, mate?
Yeah, I'll just say lastly, expect to see some posts and some high profile accounts talking about what's going to come with onboarding different states. I'm going to be, myself and Apollo from the same state of Connecticut are going to be onboarding. We're going to be doing onboarding events. Forgive me, here in Connecticut, and I just want to leave with that. Onboard Connecticut chapter.
Nice.
Coming soon.
Are you guys
Yeah,
going to call it digital
amazing.
collectibles instead of NFTs and stuff like that? I heard
Well,
that's a good way to do it.
yeah. Well, this is going to be the onboarding process. This is going to be. I don't want to mention it, what names per se. I'll just say that there are a lot of like guilds and card playing games and a lot of stuff like that out here, different locations. I want to start taking these tournaments, doing IRL tournaments with the augmented reality board game, and we even have playing cards that have augmented reality. So I want to start doing tournaments like that, getting the games on the shelves, and doing exactly what I said before, subtly onboarding them over to the other side, into the metaverses, into blockchain. But it starts with the physical product first.
And I want to just add into that as well. I want to give a big shout out to Lord Galaban as well. He's a friend of mine in the space who is a 2024 World Poker Champion, and he represents Quakey. He wears the Quakey shirt at his poker events, which I think is another clever move. To be able to be a televised show representing Quakey and getting
Yes.
it out there. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him because I think he's a very good supporter for the project, and he mentions it at every opportunity. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him.
Yeah, yes, and shout to Galaban because what he did for us last summer at Rare Evo, playing poker, having the physical merch that he made himself, but Apollo adding the augmented reality to the merch that he had, and then him playing on those big tables really helped us a lot. And I won't talk too much about the details of that because it goes into what's going to happen this year at Rare Evo. We will be there representing, and by we I mean either him or someone else. It might not be me, but like I said before, the team is really big. We all individually do our own things, and he's like the poker guy. Him and Yokes, which is not part of the team, but I don't want to. It's supposed to be like a last statement. I wasn't trying to do a full shill, but on board Minnesota, on board New York, on board Nevada. These are different chapters, and I think people have been noticing what we've individually been doing in these spaces and in IRL. Shout out to Beamer Boy, shout out to Vita CV, and Bitchby and the whole crew.
Oh, thanks, Jay. I hope you come back on the show, mate, and give us an update as you progress with your project at various stages, and basically being able to kind of network with and support these projects that come through the show as well. We are going to wrap things up. I'm just going to finish off with closing words from Action, and then Franco's going to do a closing words, and then we're going to lock the space down. So I just want to say on behalf of myself, thank you for turning out, all the communities of all the projects. Thank you to the projects, the speakers for coming on. And like I say, continue to tune in, even if your project's not here on the show, kind of just watch out, keep looking on the YouTube channel, follow the X's, and you might kind of come across projects that are worth keeping an eye on and supporting yourself. So over to you, Action.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, make sure you get out of your little community bubbles and, give everyone that came up here, if they're willing to spend the time to talk about their project and they've got something genuinely that they're building, do some due diligence, shoot them a follow, make sure that project doesn't slip out of your grasp, because by the time it's brought up again, they might be worth a shit ton of money and you might not be getting in on the ground floor. But yeah, I just want to thank JR, Franco, Shane, all three of our panelists. I think we had a really good variety of projects today, which is fucking awesome to see. I mean, just talking to you guys, it sounds like there's some crossover potential with several of your projects, and you're not really stepping on each other's toes or anything. But yeah, just, get outside of your echo chamber. If you're on X shilling your project all day, make sure you go over and check out some other projects and, say what up and give some input or find out more how you can work together with them. There's plenty of opportunity out there. This doesn't need to be a space where we're all out to get each other and, only 2 out of 10 of us make money. No, that's not how this should work. I mean, back when Roaring Kitty was doing his thing, there was like this unified movement where everyone was buying and holding coins and sticking it to the fucking man. That's what the space is supposed to be about. And I think we need to get kind of back to that. A lot of the people that are successful are serial launchers, and they're pumping charts saying it's going to 1 billion. And before you know, they sell it before it even gets to 1 million. So just be careful out there. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Don't fall for the FOMO. Don't worry about missing a runner and buy the top of the chart. Just, be patient, make some safe bets, and, feel free to hit any of us up for some advice. But yeah, thanks. Take it away, Franco. Make sure you unmute your mic though this time. There we go. That was good.
Yeah, another great space, guys. This was amazing. These projects are amazing. We had a bit of a rough week, but these spaces makes it all up, man. We're at the right track. Whatever happens, keep going, keep grinding. It doesn't matter. You're building a business. It's not all about the money, man. It's about the people. It's about the culture. It's about the love for the game. This is our world. We're staying. We ain't going nowhere, and we're building till we have what we came for, man. And these projects were bullish, man. I think we're making the whole market green. Look at that. Can you see it? Bang. You see? Bullish. Well, guys, have a good night. Peace.
Hell yeah. Peace.
DGNRadio, trenches on the radio. Radio. DGNRadio, trenches on the radio. Yo, static hits like a corner store profit. Spitting truth through the speaker, no profit. 92 BPM, knocking boots on the concrete. Why the feds trace signals they can't delete. Horn snap cut, that's the truth in the cut. Crypto flickering green while the world's on shut. Ain't no playlist, this a frequency war. Tune in or vanish like